What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome into the show. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a mailbag where I'm going to answer all of you guys' questions around the NFL draft, takes you guys have heading into the season. It's my favorite video I film every single week here at Chat Sports, where we are live just chopping it up with all of you guys on your Minnesota Vikings. It's a ton of fun. Love answering your guys' questions, and let's just start off with my man, Mike G, on today's mailbag, sending a $5 super chat saying, Seeps, support of you and what you do, my guy. I appreciate you, Mike G. Who's your dream Vikings target in round 1 and 2? So Vikings don't have a second round pick. You got a first, late third, and a fifth and a sixth. But in terms of round 1 draft targets, I think my dream guy still is Nick Eamon. And the best argument I can make for him is, one, he's a physical freak. But also, two, I think the Vikings would be Eamon dream landing spot because you have Brian Flores. You still have a need at the safety position. Extremely versatile guy. So I could see, the Vikings head in that direction. Another guy I would be a big fan of is Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon, any of these guys. That's where I would go. But we'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, those are definitely my top guys. I would go Eamon, Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, or Derek Harmon. Those four would be probably my dream draft picks at 24 for the Vikes. Charlie Fowler coming in. Great question here. Do you think Turner can become a Micah Parsons type of player? That would be the dream, right? Those very athletic, fast edge rushers. He's got crazy bend. Like, if there's any play you guys want to go look at to believe in who Dallas Turner could be at the next level, go watch that movie put on Darnell Wright, Bears star right tackle. In that Monday night game in Minnesota, he had just crazy bend where his knee literally slides on the turf. He's able to pop back up, bring Caleb Williams to the ground. So, that's a pop play where, like, I look at that, I'm like, okay, if he can just be consistent in doing so, Dallas Turner could be a 12-sack guy every single year. Now, will he reach the Micah Parsons level of edge rusher? I have doubts on that, but could he just be like one of the better secondary edge rushers in the league next to Jonathan Grenard? I think he can. Especially with all these workout videos I see of him this offseason. Like, the way he moves is just different. He's got super quick hands. His closing speed is ridiculous. And especially with a lot of these quarterbacks nowadays being super mobile, I think having those kind of archetype of edge rushers is huge. So maybe I don't see a Micah Parsons type of player, but if he turns out to be Micah Parsons and let's just say JJ McCarthy hits, could you imagine how we're going to look back on that 2024 draft class of JJ, Dallas Turner? Let's just say JJ's a top 10 quarterback. Dallas Turner's a top 5 edge rusher. We would be completely changing how we think of Kwesi and his just draft process for the future. Cohen B saying, what do you think about taking the tight end from LSU? You're talking about Mason Taylor. I would love it. I love him as a prospect. And, I'm at a tough spot right now when kind of evaluating the NFL draft because I think this tight end class is sick. Like, Tyler Warren, obviously, he's the blue chipper. I think Colson Loveland's a blue chipper, too. But then even, like, the guys you could take in the second round, like the Elijah Auroros, the Harold Fenning from Bowling Green, then Mason Taylor. Like, you have 5 to 6 tight ends who I think will be immediate impacts day one in the NFL. But just with TJ Hawkinson still on the team, you still got Josh Oliver. I just don't know if the Vikings will target tight end at all during the draft. Maybe they wait till next year. Don't rule out a TJ Hawkinson trade. That is still my that would be like my shocking move if I had to predict one where, like, we get that notification, we're like, yo, no way, they actually just traded TJ Hawkinson. But if they do end up trading him, yeah, Mason Taylor, I think that would be a home run pick for the Vikes. Corey Gamer Myers coming in with a $2 super chat saying, would you trade J.J. McCarthy for ... I guess he did not finish that, but I would not trade J.J. McCarthy whatsoever. It was so funny, like, when we were during the season and Sam Darnold was on a tear and it was looking like the Vikings like almost had to extend him. I thought it was so funny when people were tossing out these J.J. McCarthy trade ideas. They'd be like, oh, trade J.J. for a second-round pick. Like, just would never happen. The Vikings coaching staff, the front office, they clearly have all types of belief in this kid. The fact that you let Sam Darnold, 35 touchdowns, 14 wins, walk out the door. You said no to Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champ, one of the best quarterbacks we have ever seen, and they're just saying, yeah, we're rolling out with J.J. McCarthy. They clearly have so much faith and they just see so much potential out of him. So I wouldn't trade J.J. McCarthy for anything, frankly. I'm ready to roll out with him for the next 10 years of him being the Vikings starting quarterback. But Corey, I appreciate you, my man. Trader Mo's coming in saying, any chance the Vikings could trade for Jalen Ramsey? I think there's definitely a chance. I think the draft capital would probably be a third-round pick. But I'll ask you guys that. Like, would you trade number 97 for Jalen Ramsey? I think I would do it in a heartbeat. I think that would be the cherry on top of this defense where, you got the front seven, the defensive line's loaded, you got a good linebacker room. The safety room's always been great under Flores with Harrison Smith back there, Josh Metellus, Theo Jackson. That's going to be my breakout candidate for your Vikes this upcoming season. So Jalen Ramsey, if it's for a third-round pick, I'm doing it. Will the Dolphins agree to that? We'll see, but they've made it clear they want to trade him. So for Jalen Ramsey, third-round pick, sign me up. But what say you on this one? Should the Vikings trade for Jalen Ramsey? Give me a T for trade. Give me a P for pass. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm doing it. I'm trading that third-round pick for Jalen Ramsey in a heartbeat. But you guys let me know. T for trade, P for pass. We'll get into more of your guys' questions here in a second. But first, let me tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Now, Game Time, they got last-minute deals where you can actually save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater shows, whatever it may be that requires buying a ticket. Game Time has last-minute deals that save you up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets. And Game Time actually makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. And with Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves coming to Minneapolis for Game 3 of the Western Conference first-round playoffs. If you guys want to try to go to that game, maybe get yourself a free beer at the game. Plug in that promo code CHATSPORTS, and you guys will get $20 off. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Got that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. But shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's edition of Vikings Now. Cole, what's going on, man? Curious, what are your thoughts on the whole Aaron Rodgers pitch? 1 year Lombardi run while mentoring JJ. Just thought that was interesting to hear. Yeah, I definitely thought it was interesting to hear that Aaron Rodgers went to the Minnesota Vikings. It wasn't the Vikings reaching out to him. I thought that was interesting first off. But honestly, I think Rodgers showed some self-awareness by saying this, where it's like, yeah, I understand you guys love McCarthy. That's your guy. That's your QB of the future. And I think Rodgers, I'm sure he wants to be in a situation where it's like Tom Brady was in Tampa Bay, where you can just drop Rodgers in. You got the two wide receivers. You got the system. You got the good coaching staff, good defense. Like Rodgers wants to be in that situation. So I understand why Rodgers pitched this to the Minnesota Vikings, because out of any team right now that I think supports the quarterback position the most, I think it's the Vikes. You have a good offensive line now, two good tackles, good receivers. You got a good tight end. You got two good running backs now. And honestly, I think Rodgers, if he thought the Vikings had any interest, it makes sense that he would be like, yeah, I would mentor JJ. Like, he can see me go out, go through this whole year, hopefully go on a deep playoff run. He can learn a lot. So it makes a lot of sense on Rodgers' front. I actually respected Rodgers for, that he was the one that came to the Vikings. And plus, it's pretty cool that the Vikings were the team that a 4-time MVP and a Super Bowl champ, that he wanted to come to us over the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New York Giants, way bigger brands than the Minnesota Vikings. But I think this also told me Rodgers only wants to win. Wherever he goes, he's trying to go win that Lombardi. And I don't know. I actually really thought this was very interesting, Cole. So I appreciate you. Blinky, how you doing, man? When do we start to pivot to get younger this year and next year? Do we start considering not re-signing older players like Cashman, and we start to get long in the tooth on defense? Yeah, I get what you're saying. I feel like we actually have a lot of guys who are entering their, physical prime, like Ivan Pace, Byron Murphy, Josh Metellus, I think is in his prime right now. Blake Cashman's in his prime. Now, yes, we do have a lot of older players like Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, Harrison Smith. But you also still got some young guys in that secondary like, Mekhi Blackman, Jonathan Gennard's in his prime. Like, you kind of got a mixture of everything, like with the vets, the dudes in their prime, and like younger players. But I bet you it will be next offseason, Blinky, is when, we really see the Vikings try to pivot. And with them having, more draft capital next year, that would probably be the offseason to do it, but not this year. With only having 4 picks, you can't really go a full reset on the, youth defensively on this roster. Corey Miller, what's going on, man? Say, do you think we take a linebacker in this draft? Talk about the UCLA linebacker, Carson Schwesinger, saying would thrive in our defense, and I do think it's a need. Apologies for botching that last name, but Carson, the UCLA linebacker, this guy's a freak. I was actually watching some of his tape on Twitter, and it is ridiculous. Like, this guy, first off, flies around the football field. He feels like a torpedo out there, and he can sniff out lanes very, very well. He's got great instincts. I would like that pick in round 3 because I also kind of agree with you, man. Linebacker is going to be a sneaky need because as much as I love Ivan Pace Jr., I still have my doubts that he is a 3-down linebacker in the NFL just because of how bad he is in coverage. Now, is he great on 1st and 2nd down where Flores just tells him, hey, you're blitzing, you're running after the quarterback, you're trying to hunt down that ball carrier? But definitely getting another linebacker, especially once Cashman, in a couple years is just a little older, is not on this Vikings team. But also Vikings have had some success drafting UCLA linebackers, Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr. Shout out to those legends. But yeah, I think linebackers a need. I don't know if they address it this draft. I think they'll more go defensive tackle, get another guy in the secondary, maybe another offensive lineman. But yeah, definitely offseason. Keep your eyes out for a linebacker for the Vikes. Next level coming in saying, you think Aaron Rodgers would be a backup quarterback? I do not. I was actually thinking about this the other day. We're just kind of going through the process where if Rodgers really wants to be in Minnesota and he really wants to be a part of this Vikings team, like, would he just consider being like, yeah, I'll sign a training camp deal and I'll go battle it out with McCarthy? Like, I wonder if that's in the cards for Rodgers, where he was like, you know what? Even though you guys are such believers in J.J. McCarthy, what if you just give me a training camp deal? And I'll go show you guys that, like, yeah, I still have it. I'm still a top 10 quarterback in the league, which he definitely believes so. The one thing that has always interested me about Rodgers and the Vikings, even though I was very against them bringing him in, I like that he got cut, and I like that he got cut by the New York Jets. Because if you're an all-time great athlete, if you're an all-time great talent, like, you just have a sicko competitive nature. And the fact that Rodgers got cut by the Jets, if the Vikings, if they hypothetically said, yeah, Rodgers, 1-year run, come on in, we would get a motivated, ticked off, hungry Aaron Rodgers, considering he's older, just got cut. This is his last chance to win a Super Bowl. But in terms of a backup quarterback, I don't think Rodgers would have any interest. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Rodgers just wants to be in Minnesota. Cohen B saying, if you manage to get Jalen Ramsey, do you think we are Super Bowl favorites? The Vikings could get prime Deion Sanders, and they won't be Super Bowl favorites. They could get Mahomes on this team, and they won't be Super Bowl favorites. I just think, I think Jalen Ramsey would make the Vikings a significantly better defense. Like, the cornerback 2 spot is a definite weak spot on this team. You're banking on Mekhi Blackman, Isaiah Rodgers, Jeff Okudah, one of those guys stepping in. But if you just put Ramsey there, he's a guy on the outside. Byron Murphy can play that slot. Then he's got Rodgers, Blackman, Okudah kind of working in. There's really no holes on this defense. And let's just say hypothetically, you trade your 3rd-round pick for Jalen Ramsey. Cornerback position good. Then at pick 24, you go Nicky Minwari. I mean, this defense will be top 3 in the league. You got an elite front 7. You would have an elite secondary. You would have an elite defensive coordinator. You could literally just tell the offense every single week, you go get the 20 points. We're winning 95% of our games. So I would do it. 3rd-round pick for Jalen Ramsey. Sign me up. But Cohen, I appreciate you. If you guys love the Minnesota Vikings, we'll close today's show out with this. Just hit me with the SKOL down below in the comments section. Want to see where all the real ones are at. We appreciate you guys watching this entire thing. So hit me with the SKOL down below in the comment section right now. And if you guys got more questions for me, you can hit me up on Twitter or X. The handle is @PatSiep. So give me a follow over there. Give you guys a follow right back, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes.